Huge congratulations. The sort of start that Dasara has had is truly phenomenal.
Yeah, it definitely exceeded our expectations, and we always knew it's come out well, and people are going to love it. This kind of madness was not expected, so we're all very super happy.
There are so many similarities that you have with Amir Khan. Because Amir as well, even he understands what will make a scene whistle worthy in a theater.
I'm a big fan of cinema. I want to tell newer stories, good content, unique films, concept films. I'm very inclined towards a good storytelling, but I'm always looking for that combination.
Don't you feel that somehow that people are looking for a paisa vasool sort of experience?
100%. Then no, you need to make them feel that, I can't wait for this film till it comes on OTT.
Do you feel that Dasra can emerge as your all-time biggest hit?
It is by Sunday night, by the weekend, it is my biggest hit.
Nani, welcome on Connect FM Canada. How are you doing?
Thank you, Pathaan. It's all going great.
Huge congratulations. The sort of start that Dasara has had is truly phenomenal. Excited about it.
Yeah, it definitely exceeded our expectations, and we always knew it's come out well, and people are going to love it. But I think there's this kind of madness was not expected, so we're all very super happy.
What I really find fascinating about your work is that apart from the fact that you have this amazing like style that you bring to the table, but you're always trying to say something in terms of socially. There's a social messaging which is something which is always very prominent. It was there in Shyam Singh Roy as well. It is there in Dasara as well. Why is it so important for you to say something?
It is not a conscious effort. I don't like I'm not looking for it. I think that kind of, when there is something like that, like subtly in the background, I think maybe I notice, or it makes me like that script. I don't know, but I never. It is not a conscious effort. I'm not looking for it. I didn't tell myself that I will do those films, with that, with the message or something. I think I'm naturally attracted towards something like that, because there has been some, like you said, each film had, that one layer in the background, and I never really looked at it that way. A lot of times I've realized much later that, oh, it had this also, or maybe subconsciously I would have, you know liked it because of that. I don't know.
This entire aspect of casteism and why the element of equality is important, and bar, for example, that it is open for everyone. There is no limit of any caste. Anyone from any caste whatsoever can come and drink alcohol, for that matter. It's a statement which is very 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 humanely put forward, and the victory of the downtrodden over the evil and the high and mighty. How do you blend this mass element, mass hysteria element, because the cinema halls in India, they're going berserk currently, with this very very touching aspect of humanity. How do you somehow manage to blend this thing together?
I think that's what really got me excited when I heard the script itself, because it has this mad energy. It has those moments of which are called the theater moments, and it has a very organic storytelling, and the world building and everything was very, it felt like a great combination. Generally, we have these two kinds of films, whichever industry we are from. There will always be these mass films which, promises those whistle worthy moments, and there will be these films which are, proper content films, which you just sit silently and appreciate in the theaters. But the combination of these two is extremely rare, I think. And I found that, with Dasra, where even during the action scenes or mass scenes, you're not disconnected from the film. You're already, invested into the film, related to those characters. You feel their emotions, you feel their rage, and when that happens, and then there's this mass moment, I think it works much more brilliantly than a regular mass film, because you are emotionally invested into this film. You're just not looking for a fight, or you're just not looking for an action sequence. You are traveling along with them, you're feeling their emotions, then any kind of action sequence or any mass so-called mass movement will be into four. I feel the impact of it, and that's exactly what is happening with the film. In the climax, it is actually a little. See, one guy going against so many people is very dramatic in a way, but also it is so believable in Dasara because you felt his rage, you felt his anger, so then it becomes all more believable.
We have spoken about this in the past. There are so many similarities that you have with Amir Khan. Because Amir as well, even he understands what will make a scene whistle worthy in a theater. And at the same time, add that element that will be remembered even 15 years, 20 years down the line as well. This is exactly what we're seeing in Dasara, for example. When that cricket match scene is there, and when you're going in, it's like completely cinema hall moment. There are many more. Even the climax, when you're I won't give away the climax scene, what really happens, but it's a theater erupting moment as well. But at the same time, there are several moments, friend passing away, and that element of anguish, that element of rage, which is going to be talked about for many years to come. Um, do you in a way believe in the Amir Khan school of filmmaking?
I'm a, I'm a proper like someone. I love watching films in theater, and I've always grew up. I used to live next to this theater called Satyam Theater in Amirpet in Hyderabad, and it was a Friday to Friday theater, and every Friday I watched a new film. So I've grown up watching films in theater, and subconsciously, how much ever whatever film I'm doing, whichever moment, I also feel, and I'm a big fan of cinema. I want to tell newer stories, good content, unique films, concept films. I'm very inclined towards a good storytelling, but I'm always looking for that combination, which is something unique, something nice, but at the same time something excites the theater audience also, something which has those moments, which you know how do I say this, it should be feel real. It shouldn't be fake. It shouldn't be you should be able to relate to the characters and the emotions, and then if you can create some moments which will make the theater go, you know that when they say, right, the community experience, I think people should, when there's a bigger group, I want to give them the reasons to make some noise. So that's always the best part of cinema, is what I feel. And at the same time, just to do that, I don't want to do something which is for it. Like we have to have, I really feel that I should do something very original. At the same time, somehow make it much more exciting.
Dasra is doing extraordinarily well in the theaters. Most importantly, the growth is there. The first day, the second day, and the way it is growing, it's something which is, basically is the yardstick for any film to understand whether what is the sort of final business it can possibly be doing. Now, something of that nature maybe this year has only been seen by maybe Pathaan. There have been other films which have come and they have done well, but maybe that level of breakout sort of cinema going experience has not happened post Pathaan. Dasra is the next one. Do you feel that cinema going experience, cinema hall going experience, it needs to be something truly extraordinary for people, and maybe like a full experience, not like a maybe certain part of a certain half is good, because I feel the cinema going audience, they smell it, whether it's a complete entertainer or like a complete package, or maybe it is good in parts. Do you feel that it has to be that complete package for people to go into theaters now?
No, no, because I've seen films, a lot of films which really work big time. There were complaints, there were flaws. There were people who said that they liked it, there were people who said they didn't like it, but the films ran so well. So I think the promise is important here. In today's time, I think more than what's in the film, I think from the beginning, from the promotional content, from what you show them, I think they need to fix on it that I'm going to watch this film, I'm going to like this film already, even before entering into the theater. So once they decide that, I think they're going to like it no matter what. because they've told themselves that already, and it's your responsibility or it's your content's responsibility that it excites them so much that they are already decided that they're going to watch a great film. I think that that plays a very big part in today's times. And once the film is half decent, I think they will lap it up because they already have that. And the content is obviously extremely important, but it's never. I don't see all of them agreeing with any film in these days. So there is nothing called full, or there is nothing called making it complete, because it will always be incomplete for someone or the other. So just, if we just crack that, whatever expectations you set on the film before the release, if you just even crack that 50-60% of it in theater, and you can, if you make them decide that I'm going to watch this film in theater, then I think 80% of success is done.
But don't you feel that somehow that people are looking for a paisa vasool sort of experience? If they're going to spend money.
100%. Then no, you need to make them feel that, I can't wait for this film till it comes on OTT. That is a
Exactly.
proper theater film. Yeah, like sometimes what, I like this trailer, but let me see it on when it comes on OTT. If it makes you feel that, then it's not then what do I say? That's not for the theater. The theater experience films have to say, you cannot it has to be like, it has to make you feel that you cannot wait anymore. You want to go next day if it is released. Once you do that, I think 80% job is done. What film does after the release is just the rest of the 20%.
As far as Dasara is concerned, for example, the climax, I think just for that sequence itself, people would want to come in theater because it's a big screen experience and it's spectacular.
Yeah. The climax was, yeah. You should have seen the in Hyderabad theaters. You should have watched the film. Watch the
Would
climax
have
with the
loved to.
audience.
Would have loved to. I'm seeing the videos already, and I think that is truly class apart. There has been a lot of discussion in the recent past about this entire pan-India experience. You've been giving interviews in Hindi. I've seen your interviews in Hindi. The movie is doing very well all across. There have been very very interesting experiences that Pathaan, for example, the Hindi version has done very well down south. More than 100 crores, just the Hindi version. Uh, do you in a way feel that people are mainly concerned about good content and maybe the language is not a deciding factor?
See, I think we always watched Hindi films and we understand Hindi. So obviously the Hindi language version will do a lot more than the Telugu dubbing of Pathaan here, because we always watch Hindi films and we understand Hindi, so might as well watch the original. Why see the dubbing version? But that's not the case when a Telugu film releases there. Not everyone understands Telugu. So first, I think that there are a lot of people who would love to. Even the Telugu version in North is doing very well, and there would be a lot of people who want to watch the original with subtitles. They're anyway enjoying it, and I think it's also very important now to take the dubbing version to them, because there'll be a lot of them who don't want to read subtitles but watch the film in their own language. So yeah, it's very different when how the Hindi film doing the original language doing in South, and the Telugu. I think it's different scenario completely.
I like to watch South films with subtitles, and I think because the original language, it has a certain nuance to it. Like Shyam Singh Roy, I watched in Telugu, and I absolutely loved the film. I think it's a spectacular cinema. Hats off to you. Lots of respect for you. When it comes to mass cinema, what I also really really liked about Dasara was, and I think where it's in a way it stands out, and maybe people are liking certain aspect, that the action, for example, it is over the top, but it has been presented differently. Somehow the camera movements, for example, I think the way the edit patterns are, for example, they're not the usual. It surprises you in a way. And even in terms of, say, for example, action, the all the weapons, the desi weapons, the way they have been assembled together and the way you tie them together, that is something which is different. Do you in a way feel as well that somehow people are also relating to the fact that there are attempts to present things in a different style than what they have been conditioned to in the past?
I always thought this guy has a very nice visual sense, the director of Dasara. Shrikant, from whatever he spoke, from whatever he understood on location, with even just not the action, even with the other scenes, he has a very unique way of saying things. He's not constantly trying to make anything different, but I think that was the way he saw it in his head. I never saw him trying a moment and saying, "Ah, no, this. What if we do something else?" He always came up with an idea, and we went with it, and it worked. He was never confused about what he was really looking at or how he wanted that particular episode to be shot. He was very clear about it, and he had no confusion. He was very clear with the cameraman, and even the if you see, there's one scene where there's no power, and then this Vanilla's mother is talking to her that the kid comes with the candle, and then in between the discussion she blows it away, and it becomes completely dark, and then after a point, then he lights it up again, so there is this little light. All this he came up with it. He wanted it that way. I remember him narrating this whole thing. He wanted the lighting to be in that particular way to the cameraman. So I think this guy has a very very strong visual sense and very very clear about what he wants.
Right. So, when it comes to your action, for example, there is a certain element of style, which I think very few actors they're having in India, and those are aspects that people erupt in the theaters. Dasara, for example, um, those are whistle-worthy moments. People are loving it. Do you have certain inputs because you understand what your fans are looking from you as far as your style quotient is concerned? Do you have inputs over there?
Really don't want to get into that of satisfying the expectation or anything, because it kind of affects the judgment of what you're making and what it could be. Because then it all start if the more if I start doing that, I think then with certain inputs, I think all my films will start looking in a certain way. So I just want to go with the voice of the director, so we get to explore or see something absolutely new.
One more thing that I really liked was in the introductory credits, you guys have thanked Silk Smita ji. You She has been addressed as madam. I found that to be extremely respectful because I think she's a Silk bar is a constant feature in the film. Um, why is it important for anyone from the fraternity, from the industry, to give respect to their seniors, to people who have been past legends?
I think it's just a nice gesture, or because if you noticed, under every all their photographs they said from this date to infinity, this date to infinity. If you noticed it,
Right.
like born and died, they'll say 2 years, right? So let's say 1960 to infinity, 1953 to infinity. That's how they mentioned on in the photograph. It's a gesture to say that you'll always be in our hearts. There's no end to you, and these are the legends we lost in the last couple of years, and it was in a way a tribute from the team. So sometimes we do it. Sometimes a filmmaker or a producer or an actor does it for a family member when they lose them or something like that. So these are the legends we look up to, and we lost them. Balasubramanian, SP Balasubramanian garu, Krishna garu, and then Silk Smita ma'ams we used in the film, so we gave the special tribute to her also. So it's just a way of saying thank you. That's all.
While you were interacting with Bombay media recently and Delhi media as well, how was your experience?
It was very good. Very. I was like very not initially when I wanted to like start it off. Then I was a little skeptical about how it will be. They were planning a few college events and all that. I was like, is it college even? All here it is a different thing. Obviously, there will be so much of frenzy. How will it be there? Do they watch? I know a lot of people watch these films on Setmax or YouTube. There are hundreds of millions of views for a few of my films. So, but there's always a doubt. How will the crowd react? Do they all know me or not? It was always a doubt. I was like, so. But when I went there, it was a pleasant surprise. People were screaming dialogues from my films, and they were even the media was asking questions. I was scared that what if a lot of media will ask, "What did you do before?" But everybody knew what I did, and they have watched most of the films, and they were asking some nice questions. I really, really had fun. I was a little scared before I started off that tour, but it was such a pleasant surprise.
Do you feel that Dasra can emerge as your all-time biggest hit?
It is. It is by Sunday night. By the weekend, it is my biggest hit already.
That's amazing.
It
So,
is officially biggest hit. It's not me saying it yet.
so where do you see it heading for? I think Monday is a litmus test. Today's, I'm sure that today numbers, how our Monday numbers looking like?
I'm a little weak with this whole thing. Only I just see this online and I see what's happening. I get to know. I exactly don't know where this is heading, but I know for sure this is heading towards a lot of respect and love, which is clearly building day by day, and I'm extremely happy for the team.